So, what really makes a nation happy? I mean, is it all about money or politics, or is it something else? Well, today we're going to dive into the 2024 South Africa Happiness Report, and it uses a really fascinating new way to figure out the country's mood by, get this, listening to what people are actually saying online, in real time. And right off the bat, the report just drops this bombshell. What people in South Africa are reading, watching, and sharing online has a direct, and I mean measurable, impact on how happy they feel. It's like this digital heartbeat that's both reflecting and actually shaping how the whole country feels. Okay, but that's a huge claim, right? So you've got to wonder, what exactly is everyone watching? And more importantly, how on earth did this report manage to measure something as personal as happiness for an entire nation? This is where things get really, really interesting. Instead of just doing the same old thing, asking people how they feel once a year, these researchers tapped directly into the digital pulse of the nation. Okay, think about it like this. Traditional reports, they're kind of like taking one single photo of a country's mood once a year, just a snapshot. But this study, it's like they filmed a nonstop live action movie. They analyzed social media chats as they were happening to see how the national mood was changing day by day, sometimes even hour by hour. And the scale here, it's just wild. The researchers sifted through more than 180,000 online conversations. We're not talking about a tiny little sample group here. No, this was a massive deep dive into the raw, totally unfiltered discussions that are shaping the country's mood. So where did all this data come from? Well, the answer is pretty clear. Facebook. Like, overwhelmingly Facebook, at 81%. It just goes to show you that in South Africa, Facebook is still the main digital public square. It's where a huge number of these happiness-shaping talks are going down. All right, so they've got all this data. What did they actually find? Well, let's start with the good stuff. The things that actually bring people together and, spark a bit of joy. You know what popped up again and again in all the positive chatter? Music. And it's so much more than just a distraction from all the negative stuff. The report shows it's this super important tool for connection, a way for people to build a shared identity around artists and awesome local genres like Amapiano. And there's this really cool breakdown of how it works. It's like a chain reaction. It all starts when everyone's focused on the same song. That leads to shared experiences, like dancing together, which builds trust. And from there, you get this amazing sense of belonging, which leads to real individual happiness. It's just a beautiful cycle. And this isn't just theory, Just listen to this actual comment someone left online that the report picked up. It shows you how one single piece of positive content can literally make someone's whole week. I mean, wow, that's the real human side of all this data. And that amazing feeling of collective joy, it's not just limited to music. The report makes it clear that sports play a huge, equally critical role in uniting the entire nation. The passion here is just off the charts. Soccer is king, no doubt, with 77% interest, but rugby and cricket, they are absolute national obsessions. This data just proves that these aren't just games. They're these massive cultural events that everyone can rally around. Just think about the Rugby World Cup, for example. The reaction was this absolute wave of positivity. I mean, look at these emotions: happy, proud, excited, hopeful. This is proof that a huge national win can give the whole country's morale an incredible unifying boost. But, those big moments of celebration are amazing, but they're not the whole story. The report shows that day-to-day happiness really comes down to something much more foundational: money, politics, and just that general feeling of personal well-being. Now, when you think about news on the economy, you probably think it's all doom and gloom, right? Well, what the report found is actually pretty nuanced. Sure, general economic news can be a downer, but content that's actually focused on practical help, like entrepreneurship or personal finance tips, that stuff actually boosts happiness and hope. And if you want to know why, just take a look at where the money goes. A massive 35% of household income is just for food and drinks, with another 24% for housing. You can really see how people are feeling that financial squeeze every single day. So it makes total sense, right? Any content that helps people navigate that reality, stuff from stores about sales or tips on budgeting, is incredibly valuable. It's not just helpful, it's like a lifeline. It gives them a little bit of control back, and that's huge. All right, let's switch gears to politics. And yeah, it's complicated. It's a really divided landscape. Just looking at these projected voting patterns for 2024 shows you how different the political reality is from one province to the next. That makes having a national conversation pretty challenging. But forget the numbers for a second. This quote from an actual citizen, man, it just cuts right to the heart of it all. It shows this deep frustration, this feeling that for a lot of people, politics feels disconnected from their everyday struggle. It's such a powerful reminder of what's truly at stake for people. Okay, so we've got culture, money, politics, all these big forces swirling around. So where do people go to make sense of it all? Well, the final section of the report brings it all together, and it all points to the digital world. And when I say people are turning to these digital spaces, I mean constantly. Get this, nearly half, 46%, of South Africans surveyed say they always access social media. This isn't just a hobby anymore, it is deeply woven into the fabric of daily life. So why are they there? Well, the number one reason is no surprise, keeping in touch with friends and family. But look at what comes right after that. Reading news, getting inspired, and finding like-minded communities. People are actively using these platforms to build their world and find their tribe. And that, right there, is the central takeaway of this whole report. Social media isn't just a place to passively soak up content anymore. It's the modern campfire. It's where communities are built, where info is shared, and where personal and even national happiness can really grow. So, this all leaves us with one last thought. We've seen how deeply the online world can shape the mood of an entire country. But what about on a personal level? What about for you? Your feed is shaping your mood right now. What story is it telling you?